Well, for more on those protests, we can speak now to Dalia Ghanem-Yazbeck, who is a researcher, a resident researcher at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Thank you very much indeed for speaking to us. President Bouteflika has been in power for 20 years now. Why is it that people are now calling for him to go?
Well, because the President Bouteflika has been sick since 2013. He hasn't been able to speak to his people for more than 6 years now, and people are fed up. I demonstrated today, if I may say, and I was in the demonstration today with the people. So I talked to many Algerians from all ages and different generations. And the thing is that what I heard the most was, we want our dignity back. Enough is enough. We don't want to be governed by a president who is so sick and unable to take decisions. So I do believe that this is really a unique sequence that we are seeing now in Algeria. So these demonstrations has nothing to do with those that we saw in 2014 when President Bouteflika presented himself for a fourth term. I feel and I can sense that the determination of Algerians today, and I believe that if these demonstrations, last in time, they might bring the change.
Yeah, but let's not forget that the president does still enjoy the support of some important segments of the Algerian population. I mean, who in particular supports the Algerian president? I'm talking about organizations, unions, and a demographic of the Algerian population here.
Well, of course, the people who support the president are numerous. He has, some organization. But today, what we saw was very important. Even the opposition joined the call, and the opposition was in the street. So I believe we are going to witness something that is really different in Algeria this time. And people are determined to not let go this time. So I overheard also, and a journalist, a friend of mine, wrote a piece about it, that the FLN has been dispatching, people on the street to whom they paid something like 50 euros to demonstrate and to support the president. Well, the people who have been out today, thousands of Algerian, the number is not sure, but I overheard that it was 1 million Algerian. They went out and nobody paid them for that. This is the voice of the people. So I believe the margin of maneuver of the FLN, but also of Bouteflika, his clan, and the different strata that compose the regime is reducing day after day.
Yeah, Dalia, I mean, what's really striking looking at this story from here at any rate is, we're talking about a leader who's going to celebrate his 82nd birthday tomorrow at a clinic in Geneva, we understand, because, of course, he's in very poor health. I mean, it's very difficult to imagine that when you have a leader of that age, that A, there wouldn't be some succession planning, and B, there just simply wouldn't be anyone else. Isn't there anyone else?
Well, it's very, very hard to answer this question. We don't really know, but I believe that, the army and the État-Major, who has been very silent until now, will speak up in a given moment. And I believe that, the maneuvers are being done behind the scene. Let us remember that, the army in Algeria doesn't govern, but they are ruling. So I believe that before reaching a point of extreme instability, they will find a replacement. But one thing is sure, the Algerians don't want this fifth term, and they want somebody new. When you ask them, who do you want? They would tell you, we don't know, but we do know that we don't want him anymore.
Yeah, well, they haven't got very long, have they? Because the elections are on the 18th of April. So if another candidate is to be lined up, they're going to have to work very fast. I mean, let me just ask you this question. I mean, Algeria well. You understand that there are there are challenges for ordinary Algerian people. The unemployment rate is quite high. The oil price is quite low. Economically speaking, things aren't going that brilliantly. Do you get the impression that if things were going well economically, we wouldn't be having this conversation?
No, I don't think so. The demands of the people are very clear in the street. You listen to their slogan, and there is one unique demand. No for the fifth term. People are not asking for better jobs. People are not asking for better condition. No, for the moment, their requests are not about socioeconomic condition and so on and so forth. They are but they are highly political. It is about the fifth term. The slogans, I didn't hear any slogans asking for any or having any socioeconomic nature. It is one demand. It is clear. And this is very good, as a matter of fact, because I think that if the demand is clear and remain clear, and if the people will stick to the plan, which is no violence, they might mobilize more and more people. Demonstration might turn into a social movement.
And just lastly, Dalia, I mean, we don't talk about protests in Algeria very much. They're quite rare, aren't they? And during these last 20 years of President Bouteflika's rule, there haven't been these kinds of mobilizations of people out on the streets, at least not that we're aware of. Perhaps I'm wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong. But if that is the case, why is it that people are hesitant or have been hesitant up until this point to go out and vent their anger on the streets?
There have been a lot of demonstration to the extent that one author called Algeria le pays des mille et une manifestations, which means the country of the 1,000 demonstration. But it wasn't of this importance. This is really a unique sequence that we are living here. It reminds me really of the 90s, as I said to your colleague in France 24 France a few seconds ago. It reminded me of those demonstration when my mother used to drag me during the 90s. Why now? I think this is as they say, this is too much. This is the mandate that shouldn't have happened. This is not acceptable. People are saying that we want our dignity back, and actually, it is unique in the sense that the fourth term, we saw demonstration with the movement Barakat, for instance, but it wasn't that important. This is really something that is taken a major importance in Algeria, and the mobilization today was very strong, and the determination of Algerians is very high.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Dalia Ghanem-Yazbeck, resident researcher at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Thank you very much indeed.